Sega Chief Creative Officer Toshihiro Nagoshi confirmed that the shipment sold through roughly 97% of its stock, since the company halted sales of the game, and worldwide inventory is almost gone as well. As reported and translated by Gamasutra, Nagoshi also clarified that there are currently no plans for developing sequels for Judgment, despite reports saying they have been decided. In addition to clearing the promise, Nagoshi also provided his take on Pierre Taki, the Japanese voice actor and character model for character Kuhai Homura. Taki was pulled from the game after admitting to illegal drug use, with Sega following up by removing Judgment for Soul in Japan, rather than doing the same in the West. The company will remove Taki from the game before it releases on June 25th. I was surprised to hear Pierre Taki was arrested. After that we started discussing how to deal with the problem. Nagoshi said, "We've decided to halt the game's sales fairly quickly. For those that are unfamiliar, Japan has incredibly strict laws around illegal drug use, resulting in similar punishments for celebrities and actors who have been charged with possession in the past. There is no correct way to deal with the situation. In the end, I'd also cast my vote for halting sales," Nagoshi admitted. Some thought and pointed out, this is going too far, and it's unrelated to the game itself. And I do not think those opinions are unreasonable. Either I can see it from both sides. So when it comes to why I voted for halting sales, it's because it was just after release. If it was an older game released a considerable amount of time ago, our priorities may have been different. But when it was something that had been released only several months prior, I think it's a different conversation. I am bummed that it's old, like there was a last-minute surge in demand," Nagoshi continued. "It reached number 3 on Amazon's sales rankings. But I did kind of think, why did not you just buy from the start? Of course I am glad in any case. Sell-through was about 97%. Worldwide inventory is nearly gone." SuperDepth has assembled its annual year-in-review report, rounding up the top earners across digital games, virtual reality, and gaming video content (GVC), to trace the growth of each sector year to year. Digital revenue for premium games on PC and console, for instance, jumped 10% since the preceding year, coming in at $17.8 billion for 2018. The category was led by PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the game that kick-started the ongoing Battle Royale boom way back in 2017. PUBG alone brought in $1.03 billion in revenue last year, though that figure does not include any income generated by the Android version. That number represents a 19% increase over its 2017 earnings, a jump that SuperDepth notes came even as other Battle Royale games, like Epic Games, Fortnite eclipsed it in player numbers. FIFA 18 was the next top earner in that category with $790 million, followed by Grand Theft Auto V, $628 million. The fourth and fifth top premium games in terms of revenue, Call of Duty, Black Ops 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2, both released late in the year, but still managed to rank in the top half of SuperData's roundup. Black Ops 4, which released October 12th, generated $612 million in 2018, while Red Dead Redemption 2, released October 26th, raked in $516 million. Those numbers barely stand up to the top revenue earners from SuperData's free-to-play section. Of course, free-to-play games brought in a total of $87.7 billion last year alone. which makes 40% of total digital game revenue for the year. Epic Games seemingly has another lawsuit on its hands over a dance emote featured in Fortnite, this time over the Running Man. The suit is just the latest on the growing pile of legal cases that accuse Epic Games of stealing and profiting off of famous dances, many created by black artists, without asking or compensating the original creators of those dances. The Running Man case, however, is slightly different from past lawsuits, due to the fact that the ones levying the case against Epic Games are not the original creators of the dance itself. Instead, the lawsuit has been filed by Jalen Brantley and Darren Nickens, two former college basketball players, who say they popularized the Running Man through the viral 2016 Running Man Challenge. The lawsuit seeks over $5 million in damages, and claims Epic Games did not credit plaintiffs or seek their consent to use, display, reproduce, sell, or create a derivative work based upon plaintiffs' Running Man dance or likeness. Copyright law regarding dance moves on its own is a complicated beast, since individual steps cannot be copyrighted under current rules, and the Running Man suit takes that murkiness one step further since the Running Man itself existed and saw a mainstream presence decades before Brantley and Nickens popularized the challenge. Epic Games, meanwhile, just recently spoke out against the onslaught of lawsuits that accuse the company of taking and profiting from the work of each dancer's original creators. Specifically, the company urged the court to dismiss the lawsuit filed by the rapper Tommy, saying that the plaintiff's lawsuit is fundamentally at odds with free speech principles, as it attempts to impose liability and thereby chill creative expression by claiming rights that do not exist under the law. Fresh Prince star Alfonso Ribeiro and Russell Honing, better known as Backpack Kid, have both filed similar lawsuits against the company as well. Ubisoft has announced that it's making changes to the controversial Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC, which came under fire recently. This follows the apology Ubisoft issued last week regarding the DLC, which presented a mandatory in-game relationship rendering unromantic decisions the player made, whether to pursue relationships with men or women regardless of playing as Alexios or Cassandra. No, the content of the DLC was initially going to remain unchanged, but an updated forum post seems to indicate a shift in direction. After hearing player feedback and discussing within the development team, we are making changes to a cutscene and some dialogue in Shadow Heritage to better reflect the nature of the relationship for players, selecting a non-romantic storyline. The post reads, "These changes, along with renaming a trophy achievement, are being made now and will be implemented in an upcoming patch. We have also been carefully looking at the next episode, Bloodline, to ensure the paths that players experience mirror the choices they make in-game. It's worth noting that the player character is still locked into the decisions of the DLC, but the language around the event is being changed, as well as the nature of the relationship. Still, it's a welcome improvement that the community seems to be content with." Additionally, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, GLAAD, have also made a separate post addressing concerns over the DLC, explaining that it has been in communication with Ubisoft about the DLC. This comes in response to Assassin's Creed Odyssey's nomination for the Outstanding Video Game Award, a category that seeks to celebrate interactive experiences that include authentic and impactful LGBTQ characters or storylines. No matter how great your game is, people will not play it if it's a pain to approach. learn, and play. That's why good user interface and user experience (UX) design is so important in today's crowded game market. And at the 2019 Game Developers Conference in March, you will have access to a smorgasbord of expert talks aimed at helping you create more approachable, more enjoyable games. Most notably, THEGDC 2019 GameX Summit is packed with expert sessions on the fundamentals of a strategy, as well as best practices to improve overall quality and increase the likelihood that your game will create and sustain engagement. The recent and popular addition to the DX Summit is the place to be if you want to learn about all facets of the user experience discipline in the video game industry using knowledge from cognitive science, psychology,